As we head into the 4th of July weekend, Americans are apparently not as proud of the United States as they used to be. A new Fox poll shows just 39% of registered voters say they're proud of the country. It's down 12 points from 5 years ago and a drop of 30 points over the past 10 years. So what is going on? The survey was done before the transformational, really, Supreme Court decisions that we got last month. And you know, people are divided on those, but we're going to talk about that as well. Just what an enormous couple of weeks it's been at the Supreme Court. As we bring in former Education Secretary Bill Bennett, host of the Bill Bennett Show and a Fox News contributor. Bill, always good to have you with us, sir. And as we head into this 4th of July weekend, primarily. So let's take a look at this poll. Democrats, are you proud of the country? Democrats, 48% say no. 60% of Republicans say no. 64% of independents. What's going on out there, Bill?
I think that this poll had people thinking in a present-minded way. That is, do you like what's going on in the country now? And speaking analytically, not as someone who has a point of view on this, but just analytically, Democrats are worried about the country because they think conservatives are reactionary and are trying to ruin the country by going back another century. And they would now today point to the Supreme Court as evidence of that, outrage about that. Conservatives, on the other hand, would say, look at the country being ruined by President Biden. Look at inflation. Look at the border. You talked about that earlier. Look at crime in the cities. Again, another thing you did in your show. So I think there's a lot of worry and distress and anger about what's going on in the country on both political sides. It's a different question than if you asked, do you love your country? I think you would have gotten higher numbers.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. I think that it shows the division in the country, these numbers, and what people are unhappy about on both sides. I hope that you're right, that if you ask people if they love their country, you would get different numbers. And maybe we should suggest that they ask that next time, because I'd like to see what the numbers are on that. I do want to ask you as well, because you are a great historian. And when you look at the past couple of weeks and you think about what conservatives have worked on for the past couple of decades, and that is to put the focus on the court. Have conservative justices get involved, get on these court appointments that are so influential. We've got Second Amendment, you've got freedom of speech, you've got sort of breaking down the administrative state a little bit by curbing in the EPA. What do you think about what you saw?
Well, I think it's all to the good. I think it shows, as has been well said, that elections have consequences. Donald Trump gets credit for 3 conservative justices. And you will note a lot of these decisions are 6-3, 6-3. There was one that's 5-4. Look, conservatives feel that the court is on their side and on the side of the Constitution. I think they make very good arguments. That doesn't relieve them of their distress about the left. Because they think the left is trying to impose a totalitarian state in America. One thinks of Shakespeare. Shakespeare says, our country sinks beneath the yoke, and each day a gash is added to her wounds. And I think both left and right feel that when they look at the various objects of their frustration. So we'll see how this works out. I am, in the long term, an optimist about America. We have a way of healing. I think some of the reformist tendencies are kicking in. I think the antibodies are kicking in. And I think common sense is kicking in. We'll see. And, a lot has to do with elections. That's how we settle a lot of these questions.
Bill Bennett, always good to see you, sir. Happy 4th of July to you and your family. Thank you for coming in today.
Happy 4th of July to you, Martha. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.